Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Blaze Black 2. Last time, we explored the wonderful area of the Village Bridge. And this time, we are going to be exploring Route 11, and finally getting to Opelucid City, so get hyped for that. So, I think without further ado, let's get started with this trainer right here. As you might expect, this is a breeder, so they will fight you repeatedly if you return to the area, so keep that in mind. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure this one is unavoidable if you pass in front of her, regardless of distance, so that could be a little bit awkward. So, while we are going through this area, oh yeah, I forgot, I'm burned. While we are going through this area, I think it might be worth pointing out the big bit of news that happened in between recording the previous episode and this episode. And as you might expect, that would be the surprise announcement of what I am, for the time being at least, going to be calling a Generation 7 Pokemon. I suppose it's technically possible that this Pokemon could be somehow inserted into the current Generation 6, but considering there is no precedent for that, I'm going to operate under the impression that it is in fact Generation 7 until we hear otherwise, which I think is pretty reasonable. The Pokemon is called Magiana, and we don't know what type it is, or anything about it other than the fact that it's going to be starring in the next Pokemon movie. I'm recording this episode on Saturday, February 13th, so I think there is a pretty good chance that it is going to get officially confirmed for the US release tomorrow, considering Nintendo and the Pokemon Company really don't like keeping stuff in Japan anymore for a good time being. They like to tell everyone about it at the same time, so I'm expecting this Pokemon to get confirmed tomorrow, probably evening, February 14th. And I guess that means I'm a bit at liberty to guess what it's going to be called in the US version. We do know that it is a mythical Pokemon, which is kind of interesting. That's what I don't get. If this thing is going to get somehow inserted into Generation 6, then why'd they have to come up with another mythical for it? Because the movie already has a mythical in the form of Volcanion, so I don't see much advantage to introducing this thing into Generation 6, which is what mainly makes me think it's Generation 7. But anyway, considering it is a legendary, legendaries usually do not get their names changed in localization, so I am going to go out and say that this Pokemon is probably going to be called Mechiana in the English version. That is my official guess. It's probably wrong, and by the time this video comes out, we probably know what this thing is going to be called, so not really sure if there's much point in throwing a prediction out there. Anyway, we have a Pokemon Ranger right here, which is pretty interesting. This route is very, very short, just as a bit of a warning. So, half of this episode is going to be spent on this route, and the other half of it is going to be spent in Opelucid City. Anyway, right here we have a Zebstrika. I think Dig would be good right here. But yeah, I'm really surprised that we got a completely new Pokemon revealed for this new movie. I legitimately thought it would be another year before we saw a brand new Pokemon introduced. I was expecting a Mega Evolution for, I don't know, something like Mew for this movie, but apparently that is not the case. Which, I mean, I guess I'm okay with, because I feel like just by design, brand new Pokemon are more exciting than Mega Evolutions. But yeah, the next few months is definitely going to be interesting. I'd be willing to bet, and down goes Garchomp, I'd be willing to bet that we are going to see the announcement of the next Pokemon game, whatever it is, within about 2 weeks or so. Probably on or around Pokemon Day on February 27th, as has been announced, as basically the big celebration for the 20th anniversary. But I honestly am not sure at this point, because the way Game Freak has been hyping up whatever is coming next has been very strange, because they threw Z-Guard out there and they had all this Z-Guard hype, so everyone's like, oh, there's a Z-Guard game coming next, which is, you know, the obvious conclusion. And then they sort of got away from that. I mean, the Zygarde thing is still going on in the anime, but it's just sort of there. And then they threw out Volcanion, and everyone's like, alright, now you gotta get hyped about this thing. And then Zygarde was no longer the cool thing, and now we've got Magiana, as I'm gonna be calling it, considering the English name is not officially known at the time of recording. And now that is sort of drawing attention away from Volcanion, so I have to wonder exactly what Game Freak's plan is, because if they're hyping up a Pokemon C, they're going about it in a very, very strange way, so I am quite interested on what's going to be happening here on out. Anyway, here we have an Espere Berry, which is very nice, and right on over here we have a trailer inside. Yahoo! There's an awful lot of nothing around here, isn't there? Okay, we get some mail. Interesting. I like that there's nothing, but it's sure hard to share. Interesting. Anyway, it looks like my item finder is picking up something up top of this waterfall, and since we actually obtained Waterfall earlier in the Let's Play, we can ascend. And let's head right up this waterfall, and over here we have HP up. Very nice. Probably not going to wind up using it, but it can definitely sell for a lot. And I think over here we also have a trainer that can only be accessed by use of Waterfall. Is that true? Oh, well, this is interesting. I have a feeling we're not supposed to be up here yet, because there's actually a cutscene involving that Pokemon right there that you're supposed to trigger from below. And usually by this point in the game you don't have Waterfall, so that's a little bit interesting. I'm curious about what would happen if we talk to it, but I have a feeling that might cause some glitching to occur, so we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is we are going to catch this Golduck, evolved form of Psyduck. Let's do it. There we go, we finally got it. Golduck was caught. Slowly but surely we're filling up this Pokédex. When its forehead shines mysteriously, Golduck can use the full extent of its power. Look at that, guys. Pure water, not psychic. Big mistake that a lot of people tend to make is that this thing is part psychic, but it is not, so keep that in mind. And right here we have TM75 Swords Dance. That is awesome. Alrighty. Now, is that picking up something here or not? It's not. I'm just crazy. So I think that's it for this Waterfall exclusive area, so we are free to head back down this bridge. And I think there is also some stuff we can explore over this way, so let's do that too. This route's very interesting in this respect. It's got a lot of branching pathways that you really don't think about all that much, but they're there, and I totally forgot we had one of these. Wow. When did we catch one of these? It was back in the Lost Lorn Forest, right? Yeah. So we can head down this waterfall right here, and here we have a surprise Pokemon, actually. And instead of it being Fungus, this time around, it's actually a Moongus. It's evolution. Other than that, nothing's really changed. It's still a wild Pokemon, and we're still gonna catch it. There we go, finally got it. Unfortunately, Victini got toxicked, so that ain't good. It moves the caps on both arms and does a dance to lure prey. It prefers damp places. Would explain why it's down here at the foot of a waterfall. Anyway, that is another evolutionary line completed, which I am very happy about. And right up here, we have more of them. You know, I was going to run away from this thing, but we might as well hit it with Flame Burst because Victini is really close to level 56. There we go, Victini gets level 56. Just a little bit of an edge right there, but an edge nonetheless. And right over here, we have another trainer. Might be the last one on this route, actually. My Pokemon and I spend so much time together, we don't need words to understand one another. Do you think you can win against us? Alrighty. But yeah, I find it really, really exciting at the prospect of Generation 7 already getting hint dropped. At least, that's what I'm going to assume it is, unless we're told otherwise. One interesting thing about this Pokemon is it's been stated to be entirely man-made. Which makes you wonder, does it count as a Pokemon if it's entirely man-made? I mean, I guess it does. Game Freak's word is the gospel in this case, and Porygon is man-made, I guess, so I suppose it makes sense. It also kind of reminds me, this Pokemon, it kind of reminds me of Deontay a little bit, which is a little weird. Makes you wonder if it was some sort of man-made attempt at emulating it somehow, because they do look kind of similar in terms of body structure and all that. I have a feeling things are about to get very, very exciting in the world of Pokemon going forth here. Anyway, we have U-Turn, swapping out Gliscor for Wigglytuff, which is interesting. And this should knock it out, I think. Or not. Are we faster? We are faster. Wow, this is probably the only time you're going to see Gastrodon actually faster than something. Down it goes. Get a little bit of experience, and now out comes Gliscor back for dessert, because I've got to surf with this thing's name on it if it doesn't knock me out. Ooh, that was close. A little worried about that there for a second, and down it goes. Awesome. We made it. Almost level 57 on Gastrodon here, that's kind of crazy. Get our little bit of money for that, and we should get another Espere Berry too, which we do. Very good. Grab that, and I think this one over here is also an Amoonguss. And it's not, it's actually a Razorfang. Cool. That will allow us to evolve Gligar into Gliscor, although I think we can catch Gliscor normally, just in the wild, so I'm not sure if it'll actually be necessary. I'm pretty sure we don't have a Gliscor yet. Maybe I'm going crazy. We have caught a lot of Pokemon up until this point, so wouldn't be surprised if I forgot some of the ones we have and some of the ones we do not. This being a hack, you'd think they'd find something more interesting than Basculin to throw everywhere. But apparently not, because Basculin continues to be everywhere. It's ridiculous. I really wish there was some other thing they could populate the sea routes with. Anyway, over here, Kikwa! This is yet another legendary Pokemon in the same vein as Cobalion. However, there is still one of these Pokemon we have yet to meet, and as I mentioned before, I would like to capture them all at once, so we are going to be passing over this one for now. Not for long, but for now. Route 11, as you might expect, in case you forgot what route we were on, and right here we have a Max Potion. That is a good item. But anyway, now that we are... Anyway, now that we are done with exploring Route 11, our journey is finally over. I may now welcome you, with great pleasure, to Opelucid City. Yahoo! I haven't seen you since I ran into you in Castelia City. Are you here to battle Grandpa? Yep, Opelucid City's gym leader, Drayden, is my grandpa. We're not really related, though. Oh, the gym is that way. Before challenging it, you might want to go to Route 9. Still, your Pokemon really respect you. I feel how much fun your Pokemon are having, even from inside their Pokeballs. Good luck. Oh, Iris. As peppy as ever. Anyway, right here, Opelucid City, Time's dividing line. Interestingly, in Pokemon White and White 2, this city will actually have a nature theme, but in Black and Black 2, it has a technology theme. Anyway, if we walk over by this guy, you can hear that he actually adds a line to the music. If we walk away from him, his part will actually fade away. I think that's really, really interesting. Really cool little detail. Anyway, first things first, before we do anything else, is I want to head into the Pokemon Center and heal. Because we took quite a beating on our way here, so I think healing would probably be in our best interests. And now that we have done that, I think it would be prudent to go and explore the city. Alrighty, so first things first, I think we want to head over this way, because in the westernmost portion of the city, if we head into this house, if I'm correct about this, is it you? Know what? I'm a huge musical fan. Yes, this is the guy. Oh, you have a prop case. You must be a huge musical fan too. Would you like a new prop to use in the musical? Sure. I am so glad. You are also a huge musical fan. You should try putting various props on your Pokemon. That would be fun. And we get the gift box. You know what? I'm a huge musical fan. If you come see me again tomorrow, I'll give you a different prop. This guy gives Christmas-themed props. I'm pretty sure that's regardless of Season 2. So, we just got the gift box. If we were to come back tomorrow, we get the fluffy beard, and then again for the big bag, and then again for the scarlet hat, which is pretty interesting. Alrighty, next up, we want to head over this way. Right up here, you can see that we have the Opelucid City Pokemon Gym. Leader Drayden, the Spartan Mayor. Get hyped for that, because in a couple episodes we are going to get jumping on that gym battle. Now, is it you I want to talk to? Instead of getting a Pokemon with the ability to run away, I got these. I have tons of these, so I'll share with you. And we get a Smoke Ball. Interesting. A Pokemon that's holding a Smoke Ball will always be able to run away from a wild Pokemon. Very nice. And if we head over this way, I think it is, formerly the Battle House. In the original Pokemon Black and White, you could come here to have, I want to say, triple battles and rotation battles. However, welcome. Glad to see you're here at the Rotation Battle House. That's what we would say up until a few years ago. Now the trainers are seeing who's best at rotation battles in the Pokemon World Tournament in Driftvale City. In the original Black, it was rotation battles, and in the original White, it was triple battles, if I'm remembering that correctly, but it's irrelevant here because the area is closed. What is also closed is this way. In the original Black and White, this area would lead to Route 10. If we open up our town map, you can see that it is no longer here. That is due to a bit of a natural disaster, which we're going to be getting into a little bit later. But yes, as you can see, we have Route 9 here, and Route 11 here. There is no Route 10 in this game. Period. It completely skips over it, meaning that even though the highest number you'll see on this map is 23, there are only 22 numbered routes in Black and White 2, which is a little bit interesting. Anyway, there's one more house I want to check out, and I believe it is right over here. And this house is significant because it is Drayden's house. Head on inside, and up the stairs, and we have a few people. Concerned about your Pokemon's weight? You don't need to put it on a diet, just let it hold this. And we get the Float Stone. The weight of a Pokemon holding a Float Stone will be halved. That way you can reduce the damage caused by weight-based moves such as Low Kick and Grass Knot. Very interesting stuff. Over here, I have an item that I don't know how to use. Would you give it a try and see if you can make it work? Sure. You may be able to master it. Here it is. And we get the Ring Target. If a Pokemon holds a Ring Target, it can be hit even by a move that would usually have no effect. For example, a Normal-type move would hit a Ghost-type Pokemon. Mastering this item is a bit tough. Actually, it's very tough, but I think how useful it could be. Yes, these are competitively oriented items that, if you can figure out how to use them correctly, can play into some pretty awesome strategies. But anyway, that is actually every single item in this area. And pretty much everything I want to go over in this area, period. So anyway, one thing that's pretty interesting, I guess I could mention, is there is a little bit of a bug in the game, which I wasn't able to show off. If you do not collect the max potion out on Route 11, the dowsing machine will actually pick it up from inside the city, which is kind of interesting. So that's a little bit of an oddity, but it's pretty fun to mention nonetheless. And over here, as you can see, we have yet another resident Hoenn gym leader, who we are not going to be taking on in this episode, because I want to head out next to Route 9, which we are going to be doing next time. So, this past episode, we headed all the way through Route 11, encountered a legendary Pokemon who we'll be fighting at a later point, and we also got here to Opelucid City, reunited with Iris, and explored the town and got all the free stuff that we could possibly think of. Wow, that was actually quite a bit of stuff we did in this episode. So without further ado, next time we are going to be heading out to Route 9 and exploring everything we can find there. Iris suggested we head out there anyway, and I think that's because we could use all the training we can get before we try and take on the gym here in Opelucid City. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.